All right, Warriors, Patriots, and Preppers, doing a quick little inventory check. There's some rice that we need to use. A little tough to do right now because of the diet we're doing. We're doing the keto diet, so rice doesn't play like a huge part of that diet. But the kids are going to end up eating a little bit more rice this week, that's for sure. After that, we're going to head to the store and work on what the main topic of this video is going to be about once we get back, and that is over-the-counter medications. Obviously, with the coronavirus and flu season, it's going to be a wild one this fall, and I don't want to get caught without the stuff that we're going to need, because we have a decent amount prepped back right now, but I want to be able to have a little bit more than normal, and I also want to be able to help out any friends or family that just are completely struggling and can't get it. And then just it may be a way to supplement some income if the economy tanks and we're the only ones sitting there with medication. So not going to price gouge anyone, but it could be a good investment and a good tool to barter with depending on how things go. Because I think the worst is still yet to come. I think a lot of us are thinking that way, but let's go ahead, let's head to the store. Let's get those over-the-counter medications, and we'll talk a little bit about what I picked and what I picked and why I picked it when we get back. The thing to pay attention to is the size. So this is 2.4 cents each. 7.8 cents, 4 cents, depending on the container you pick. So obviously this is the one I'm going to go with, even though the price point's a little bit higher. It's just making sure that you're getting the biggest bang for your buck. All right, back from the store. So as I was highlighting, there's some definite value in purchasing bigger sizes to bring down the cost and get a bigger bang for your buck. Now I get that it's all relative, is going to be how you're able to store it and what your budget is. But if you can purchase a little bit more and get the bigger ones, even if it means waiting a couple more days, waiting the next pay period, waiting another week to be able to scale up and get more value for your dollar, I really, really encourage you to do that. And that's part of why I wanted to highlight that. There's some other things you could do as well. I'm sure we all know. And you got to kind of think about how it works for you. So this is some of the over-the-counter stuff I got. You have your regular brand, and then you have your off-brand. The off-brand stuff, this is all regulated, and it's the exact same stuff. There might be a little bit of like difference in it that is not regulated, but I don't think so, because this all has to get FDA approval to even be sold as over-the-counter medication. So it should be relatively the same. Now, the wife, the kids, everyone swears that this stuff is the only stuff that works from the actual brand. The off-brand works fine for me. So I don't mind using this and letting them use this because it's a little bit more money. And if we're all chipping in and we're all sick and we're all using something, it's going to go pretty quick. And I can have my own that I'm not tapping into what they need and what they prefer. And it comes at a lower price point. So you have the ability to do that. Now, when it comes to other stuff, like your off-brand ibuprofen and Tylenol, everyone feels like these work the same, whether it's the brand or not the brand. So we buy the off-brand to save us some money, and there's a significant price difference in the two. So I keep that in. So keep that in mind when you're purchasing. You need to know how your body reacts to it, or if you maybe do have a preference. Angry Prepper was talking about canned goods in one of his recent videos, and he talked about getting the actual good canned food versus the off-brand stuff and how much more he prefers that. He doesn't, if you personally can stand the taste, awesome, do it. But there's no point in getting the off-brand Dayquil if you don't think it works for you. You should get the regular branded Dayquil if that's what you feel like works better for you. For me, I also picked up some Halls. Now, I have a preference for my cough drops. I like Halls better. I think they feel more effective than any other brand, so that's what I go with. So we stocked up on some of that. The ibuprofen, the Tylenol, you saw that. This is another thing that if you're eating your survival food, you're probably going to want to have on hand. So stocking up on this. I'm going to get a little more. This is we probably have one other bottle at the house. Not something we use a lot, but if we're eating MREs and a lot of canned food and a high sodium diet, this might be something we're going to have to rely on if it hits the fan and we get to the point where we're falling back on that food. Also picked up a little bit of medical supplies too. Some antibiotics, some triple antibiotic for cuts. So this is basically like the Neosporin. Wanted to add that. When I was getting that, I saw this cool little $5 first aid kit. Just gonna toss this in my bag, one of my bug out bags, and just have it on hand. 85 items, $5. I figured why not? I was right there, just kind of one of those little impulse buys. Another thing, kind of go along with the Pepto-Bismol, just picked up some antacids. Only have about half of this. High stress situations, I do get a little bit of like indigestion and acid reflux. As I get older too, I've experienced it more with spaghetti and spaghetti sauces, and that's going to be a big part of our diet. If we get to a point where we're falling back on our survival food, we're going to be having a lot of spaghetti nights. So I need to be prepared for that. That was a thought process behind purchasing some more antacid pills. Another thing, we're going to be doing a lot more work outside. I'm pretty prone to bug bites, and especially the ants out here in Texas. So a big thing I wanted to pick up and make sure that we had plenty of was like the Benadryl and allergy relief pills. As soon as I get bit, I pop one of those. It has it helps me a lot versus not doing anything, and I've learned that since I've been out here. So I imagine there's going to be a lot more work. Plus, I want to add these to my bug out bag in case I'm camping or hiking or traveling somewhere and I get bit. I have these easily available to me. So one of these is going to be for the bag. The other two are for prepping back. Also picked up some burn cream or burn gel. So if we're outside working, tending to the garden, tending to the chickens a little bit more than normal, you always run that risk of getting sunburn, especially right now. So I wanted to stock some of that back. But that's just a quick look at some of the over-the-counter stuff I picked up today. The plan for next week is to pick up some more vitamins. So that's going to be another over-the-counter item that you're going to want to stock up on after you feel like you got some of the medical stuff. When you're picking up these to stock back, think about how much you use now and how much you may need. There's a decent shelf life on this. This doesn't expire until March 2022. You can see that. Let's see. Well, whatever. That's when it expires. But you could store these back for a decent amount of time. So if it gets real bad and it's going to be real long term and it's hard to get these over-the-counter medications, you're going to have some on hand. We're prepping for 6 to 7 people in our immediate family, let alone anyone else we may have to take care of along the way. So a little bit of over-the-counter preps this week. Next week, we're going to prep up on vitamins. A little bit shorter shelf life on the vitamins, but also vitally important, especially if you're going to have a drastic change in your diet when it hits the fan. So go get the over-the-counter medicines. I highly encourage it. It should be a focus for your prepping. If you've checked off the food, you've checked off the water, you've checked off the emergency money fund, start working on building up your medical supplies. And you should have your emergency medical supplies ready now. But if you don't have a stockpile of it, that would be one of the next things you want to work on stockpiling after you checked off the boxes for the other stuff. But anyways, thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys. A lot more followers lately. Trying to do some better content. Gonna have later today, so probably going up around the same time, video for how to EDC in a public restroom. A viewer requested that I did that, so I'm gonna do that. If you guys have any video requests, drop them in the comments below. Shoot them to me on Instagram. We'll go from there. And I think on Monday, I'm gonna do another follower Q&A. So thank you guys. Enjoy. Keep preparing.